way or there are means in which you will be able to identify yourself, and of course you will access within a time that the assessment would be made available. So for applied math for hospitality at 9 a.m. you'll be able to access the examination, and you have 3 hours with which to complete and upload your responses. You'll be uploading your responses to the Moodle platform. Um, However you have been working with your institution, if you have been uploading with Word, if you have been using a scan app, you will be allowed to use this in uploading your responses. And so at 12 o'clock, the portal will close. So if you log in at 11:55, you will have 5 minutes to complete your exam. If you log in at 11:30, you will have 30 minutes to complete your exam. So remember, you need to log in time. Now, looking below, you will see criminal law 2, just for an example, and you see 48 hours there. All courses that would not have a section A, a multiple choice, they will become accessible at 9 a.m. So all those that you're seeing 48 hours without a section A, looking on the page, you're seeing criminal law 2. You're also seeing environmental engineering. You're also seeing industry and environment, introduction to disability studies. These are accessible at 9 a.m. You have until 48 hours after accessing the course to return, well, not after accessing, after the course has been made available, because you have until that whatever time to access. But you have until up to 48 hours to upload your responses, your solution to the portal before it is closed. So let's say, for example, you would have accessed at 9, it would have made available at 9 o'clock on Monday. You have until 9 o'clock on Wednesday to upload your response. Of course, I'll be available for any questions later. Now, there are also some courses that you will see it has 1 p.m. Let's look at Introduction to Programming. You're seeing a 40 minutes under section A, and you're seeing a 48 hours, and you're seeing a time 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. What does this mean? It means that this course will be made available at 1 p.m. and you have 40 minutes to complete the multiple choice between 1 and 4. So you can access at any time between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. and complete your multiple choice. Upon completing the multiple choice, then you will get access to section B, and then you will have your 48 hours in which to complete the section B and return. So the 48 hours includes returning the results. I hope I captured everything on the timetable. Is there, Mrs. Walters, do you think there's anything I missed?
That's just about it.
Okay, thank you much. So as I said, initially for all mathematics courses, you will be doing it on EducaSoft, and you'll be completing within your 3 hours, and you will be able to upload your responses. I know you are familiar with the EducaSoft platform, and Mr. Shan will speak more to it as indicated on the agenda. And for performing arts, engineering, library science, these are courses that you will also be doing within a 2 to 3 hour slot, and you'll be doing it in what we consider the traditional format of assessment, meaning it is a timed assessment. You will access the portal within the time and complete within that time, and that's the end of the assessment for you. I hope that was enough in a nutshell. Okay, so the format of the assessment for this academic year, and you'll notice we're not using the word examination. We are talking about the final assessment. So traditionally, you would have had, in some cases, you'll have multiple choice, four essays to choose two. You would sit around the table, your desk and chair. You would have the time, the invigilator checking, and you return at the end of the time. For this academic year, for this session that we're going into, you will have a combination, and it depends on the course you'll be doing. So for courses that have a multiple choice, section A, you will be given multiple choice to complete in 40 minutes. And then you will access the section B, which comprises of a case study, one case study, and two essays. You'll be completing the entire paper. There'll be no choice. So you'll be doing the entire paper within the slot, the timeline that you were given, whether it be 24 hours or 48 hours. But you will only get access to the section B after you've completed the multiple choice. There are also some courses that would have normally had case study and then you have the essays. They remain in that format, but again, it will be the case study and then you have the three essay questions. Now, you're probably thinking essay questions, I mean, it's an exam, essay questions. For these essay questions, you will be asked and you are required to credit your sources. So you are not just going to be writing an essay from your head. If you happen to use a source, you need to provide credit to the source. I'm sure you would have learned how to do your referencing using APA format. You also learned how to use Turnitin, which we'll talk about shortly. But these are a requirement for these, what we call essays that you'll be submitting. Remember, you're getting 48 hours so you can do your proper research and turn in proper pieces to get the maximum marks that you can get. Um, yes. So again, just to recap, traditionally you would have had the 20 multiple choice, four structured to choose two. For this examination period, you will be having, you're still having your 20 multiple choice that you'll be accessing online, and you'll be having one case study and two structured, same thing we call essays, to complete. And again, you'd have one case study and you would have had four to choose two. Now you're having one case study, case analysis, and you will have the three essays to select. For engineering courses that you would normally have four questions to select, sorry, six questions, structured responses, which you would select four. That is still the case. You'll be able to have a choice for that paper.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Mrs. Williams will be with us for the duration of the session. So when we get to that question and answer section, if you have questions for her, please feel free to ask at that time. We would like to share on the EducaSoft system because we have mathematics courses being done this semester across several departments. And for those students, your assessment will be done on EducaSoft. I'm going to now ask Dean Shand to address you on this platform for your final assessment. Go ahead, Mr. Shand. Mr. Shand, thank you.
Forgive me, common assault. I'm speaking and the mic is muted, so forgive me. All right, so thank you, Mrs. Buchanan Williams, for explaining what is happening. And students, as Mrs. Buchanan Williams explained, all the math courses, and Mrs. Waters, all the math courses will be offered on the EducaSoft platform. In preparation for this, a few courses for this semester were offered online for your mid-semester. foundations, foundation one, pre-calculus and business calculus. Now I'm going to demonstrate to you something, and I'm going to ask that you just give us your undivided attention as I will explain, and at the end I'll be more than happy to take your questions. So when you log on to the platform, you'll be seeing your assessments. Your assessments will be uploaded, or the assessment will be uploaded at the top of your page. And I'm getting into the assessment page, and I'm going to be showing you this one is populated at the bottom of the page. But for exam purposes and for ease of access, we will populate the assessment at the top of the page. Now I'm going to be clicking this pre-calculus assessment. Now, this is the assessment that the students would have done for their, as was sent by the council, by the CCCJ. Students would have had a section A and a section B. You have 20 multiple choice questions in section A. When you
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, your screen went blank.
Shared that screen as well.
Yeah, went black.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks for that information. So for section A, you will see your section A and B populated to the left-hand corner of your screen. Now your section A will contain your 20 multiple choice questions, and you will go ahead and answer your questions just as you would in a paper-based exam. So the question will say simplify. You're going to be working out. You're going to be selecting whichever answer is correct. You're going to click your next. It will automatically take you to the other question. You're going to work the question out. You're going to click next. And if it is that you can't do this question just yet, don't waste time on it. Move on to the question. The system will tell you that you have not answered the question. If you look to the far right, the ones shaded in peach indicates the ones that you would have answered. So right there, what it is saying to me is that I have answered questions 1, 2, and 4, but I have not yet answered question 3. So it's ease of access now. At the end of this process, I can go back to question 3, knowing exactly which question or questions that I would not have answered. Now, so that is our section A. For section B, when you click on the first question in section B, and for your final assessment, you'll be having 20 multiple choice questions. So section B will start at question number 21. So when you click on question number 21, the whole question, meaning the question for subpart 1, which is what you see for question 1 of the essay type paper, will populate on the screen. So you will see all the questions, and at which point in time you can have a choice whether or not this question is going to be your selected question, or you could go to subpart 2 and click on the first bar in subpart 2, and the second question will populate in its entirety, and so forth and so on. So what it does, it gives the students an opportunity to see the questions beforehand so that they can answer the questions that they are most comfortable with, the ones that they have most information about. All right. So you will have 2 hours to complete your examination paper. It is your final assessment paper. You have a 3-hour slot in which to complete this 2-hour final assessment. As Mrs. Buchanan Williams says, I will encourage students, if your exam begins at 1 and goes up to 4, your final assessment begins at 1 and goes up to 4, we're going to ask you not to start your final assessment at 2 o'clock. Not because you're doing a final assessment online, it means that there is no interaction with your exam papers. Our lecturers still need to see evidence of work completed by all students, and as such, there must be time left after you have completed your examination to upload whatsoever paperwork that you would have done. And this will authenticate what it is that you have and our physical evidence. As you would know, your programs, most of your programs are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica, and the CCCJ will need evidence of the work done by students, so it is that we can have it, should in case the UCJ says how did you manage your assessment period during COVID? We can have evidence of students' work. So I'll show you in a minute how it is that you're going to be required to upload your final papers. So it is that the lecturers can go ahead and mark. And incidentally, not because the system will automatically mark the examination paper, it means that your submitted items will not be marked by the lecturers. The lecturers will again remark those papers submitted. One of the things that we're going to be doing as a guide for the institution, students are encouraged, as for those who I'm teaching for this semester, you would have received a communication sent by Dr. Malcolm this morning about ensuring your registration. So I implore you from the Department of Mathematics that if you're not fully registered, please pay a visit to Students Finance. What I will do for the Educasoft system is to disable the grade aspect of the platform. So it is that when you would have completed your assessment, you will not be able to see your grade. And this is just one of the mechanisms that we're putting in place to encourage students to ensure that you would have fulfilled the requirement of paying your bills. We encourage you, we understand the situation is difficult, but we're going to encourage you, speak with Students Finance. What I'm do just now is to switch from these examinations. Oh, sorry, before I do. When you would have completed, students, your exam, your final assessment, it is very important that you click the Submit Assessment button. It is important that you would click the Submit Assessment button. At the top of the screen, it will tell you the duration of the paper. Whenever you access the assessment within the 3-hour slot, you'll be given 2 hours. So guess what happens? The exam is 9 to 12, and you decide to access your paper at 11 o'clock. At the strike of 12 o'clock, wherever you are, the system will shut down. So if you start your exam 5 minutes before, you will not have your 2-hour slot to complete the paper. The paper, I urge you, if your exam begins at 9 o'clock, your final assessment begins at 9 o'clock, that you access the platform as early as 9 o'clock, so that you will be able to have enough time to upload. We will have persons in place should you have any difficulties in say, for example, a power outage and the system closes out on you. I will speak with ICT to create, a medium for which you can send your queries. So it is that we can look at it and we can give you the best opportunity to complete your exam. So it is that you're not disenfranchised in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to be asking you that you read the information that is going to be sent out. What I'm going to be doing is pushing the information from Educasoft. So it is that all students will have this email, should in case you are doing your assessment and say, for example, there's a fluctuation with your internet and for some reason you get logged out. So it is that the team of persons here within the college will be able to facilitate that process. The process, again, by extension, will be facilitated throughout the community college system. So allow me now to move from this screen and to show you how it is that you are going to be, student view, how it is that you're going to be, thank you, accessing the information, that section that you're going to be uploading your work to the students. So one of the things that is going to be required is that you need to have a USB or a data cable, so it is that you can transfer the information. I encourage you students not to do quote unquote rough work. We don't want any rough work. Pretend as if you're doing a paper-based exam where it is that you're presenting your work neatly. We're also going to be encouraging you to present your work in order. It doesn't mean that you have to start question 1 first, but make sure that after you would have submitted your final assessment, that you spend a few minutes to collate your papers in order. We're going to also ask you that you're going to be taking photographs of whatever paperwork that you would have used, graph paper, etc., we're going to ask that you insert those photographs into a Microsoft Word document, or you can PDF the document. So it is that when it comes to us, we can find the papers without having to download several photographs. Why this is also important, for second semester of last academic year, as well as summer semester for last academic year, this is a methodology that we would have used. So those students who would have done math courses for second semester and third semester last school year would be familiar with this process. Some photographs taken were not good enough. So when it is that you are actually putting the photographs in Microsoft Word, or you're going to be PDFing the file, you can actually decide for yourself whether or not the photographs, is readable, something that we can look at and mark. Let me just hasten to say that the members of the math department have invested in XP pens. Over 90% of the staff members have bought XP pens, which would make the marking so much more easier. So you don't have to worry about marking your papers, but please ensure the responsibility is yours to ensure that you would have uploaded all the papers. Now, let me be difficult. What I pray does not happen is that when you would have uploaded, you're going to be sending emails to say, oh, sir, a day or two after, I forgot that this paper was not uploaded. It will not be accepted at that point in time. So I'm going to emphasize the responsibility is yours to ensure that when you're uploading, you have just one opportunity to upload. When you're uploading, that all your work paper is uploaded. Ensure before you click send that everything that you have, because once it is that you click send, there is no way, based on the regulations, that I can accept a paper, even a minute after or 2 days after. All right, so the responsibility is yours. Okay, so when you go back to your student page on Educasoft, you will see your course tools. Of course, you will all be familiar with your course tools, where you will have your syllabus, your tutorials, assessment, support, and so on. You're going to be going to resources. You're going to be clicking on resources, and resources, it will say to you to upload a file or upload file. You're going to click on upload file. I would encourage you that, what it is that you're doing, you could save your document to the desktop of your computer. For those of you who are so challenged in accessing a computer for your exam, it may be difficult to, if you're going to be doing your assessment on your cellular phone, even though the platform can accommodate that. I would encourage you to use the options that are outlined by the institution, and I'm sure Mrs. Grant Waters will identify, will highlight those options, where it is that you can indicate to come to the physical plant to have your examination, your final assessment completed on the assigned day. What you'll do is to click on upload file. You're going to click choose file. You're going to be looking for where it is that you would have saved your file. Once it is that you find the file in question, students, please ensure that you send me the correct file now. I don't want a file that contains psychology, because the responsibility against students will be yours to ensure that the correct file is going to be uploaded. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to name the file. So if you're doing pre-calculus, for argument's sake, you're going to name the file pre-calculus 2020. So it is that you know when you're selecting a file that the correct file is chosen. Then you're going to click upload. Once you click upload, that information comes to us. That information comes to us. In your system, students, the platform will store all the information. When the lecturers are ready to mark your papers, the lecturers will go into a specific area of the platform and download each platform, use the XP pens to go ahead and mark, authenticate the grades, and the process will pick up from there. We send the grades off to exams, and then once it is that the grades are sent to exams and they do their verification, then it is that you will see your grades on the platform. I will stop right here, and I will I'm not sure, Mrs. Waters, if I should take the questions now or afterwards.
I have a question.
No, hold on, Mrs. Waters, 1 minute, please. Mrs. Waters,
Yes, Mr. Chan.
should I entertain the questions now or afterwards?
Me?
Based on what you have presented, we can take a few questions Please mute your mics, student. We can take a few questions on EducaSoft.
Okay, thank you.
A question and answer section at the end.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead, student.
3 questions, and then we'll move on to the next presentation.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hello?
Go ahead, please. Go ahead. I'm hearing you. Go ahead, please.
So you're saying when we log into EducaSoft and we go to assignments, you said that the assignments is going to be on the top.
Right.
So we're going to select it and do both section A and B and are working out, not rough work, working out, proper working out. After we present it on the assignment section, we go on the upload file and present our proof of working out. That's what
Yes,
you're
please.
saying?
Yes, please. Miss
Okay.
Donna.
Because I
section
know,
A and B?
yeah, no,
No,
because
just
I
for
know
section B.
sometimes
Oh,
why
okay.
I ask because sometimes even using EducaSoft, we may answer something and EducaSoft says it's wrong, but based on the working out that we were taught, it can be correct. That is why I asked the question. So that's where the upload thing come in.
And Shonake, I applaud you for somebody who has been using EducaSoft, since you've
Thank
entered the
you.
college. You understand the process. And she raised a point that I want to just emphasize. So, for example, you are doing. Can you mute your mic for me, please?
Don't come to me. No.
Student.
I guess Miss Waters can mute everybody.
All right, you may go ahead, Mr. Shand.
All right, thank you. So if, for example, students, you are doing a course that says it should be x cubed plus 2x squared y for your answer, and on your paper that you'll be uploading, I am seeing the 2x cubed, but somehow on the platform, you would have selected a question, you'd have selected something that would be different, but I see that you would have worked it out on your workout paper. Then it is that we're going to be using what it is that you have, because we recognize that sometimes how students enter the platform, enter their answers on the platform, if you have a square root sign for argument's sake, too often I'm seeing students, and I have been responding to your queries, that you will have to press the right arrow to exit from under the square root sign. And this happens also when you're using your natural display calculators. If you put your square root sign there and you're finding the square root of a number, you will still have to press that navigation button on your natural display calculator to move the cursor from under the square root sign. Now, too often I'm seeing quite a number of you making that error. So members of the math department are aware of that. And what we will do, we will look at it. So what we're saying to you, we're giving you the benefit of the doubt because your papers will be remarked. It is just a means of conducting your examinations or your final assessments remotely. So the system will mark, we will go ahead and double mark the paper, and we can, of course, from there we'll take it. So thank you, Ms. Donner, for highlighting that fact. Are there any other questions? All right, if not, all right, so what I understand, again, students, is that your paper, your examination paper, your final assessment paper will contain 20 multiple choice questions. You must answer all 20 multiple choice questions. Students, please. I am disappointed when I'm marking papers and students are leaving multiple choice questions unanswered. Please don't get into that situation. All multiple choice questions ought to be answered. For your math papers, and I'll ask Mrs. Buchanan Williams to verify what it is that I'm saying. Your math papers will contain, you'll ask to complete all 3 questions on the math paper. So you'll be presented with 3 questions. So pretty much we're saying that it's going to be a compulsory paper, right? We're going to ask that you complete your assessments. We're going to ask that you, whatever assessment you do in math or English or psychology, find an environment that is going to be conducive so it is that you can work. I would encourage students not to do the assessment at work when you know that your supervisors don't want you to get onto the system, that you are going to find a place conducive for work so it is that you don't have the sort of interference for the exam, because remember you have just one attempt, only one attempt. This is we are experiencing some unprecedented times. It is going to be the first time we are going to be conducting final.
Where you come to?
Can you mute for me, please, students? Thank you. Sorry. This is going to be the very first time we're conducting final assessments this way, college-wide. Math students, you are familiar with these types of assessments. You've done it for your mid-semester, you've done it for second semester, you've done it for third semester. So we're going to ask that you make us proud. Finally, what I'm going to be doing, I have already developed a document to instruct you how to go about uploading the file. I'm going to be pushing that document through Educasoft so that all students will have step-by-step method. If it is that you forget what it is that I said just now, to upload your paperwork to Educasoft. I've already, written it up. I'm just going to be proofreading it to send it off between today and tomorrow morning, so it is that you can be familiar with the process. So I thank you for being who you are, good students and students of Excelsior College. We trust that this final assessment period will be one that is fruitful for you, so it is that all will go well. Remember, if you have any queries, I have been receiving emails from students who I don't know. Please, mark.shand@ecc.edu.jm. Please send me an email so it is that I can deal with your queries. Thank you.
All right. There are some hands raised. Are you
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shan. Students, may we take some more of those questions in the question and answer section. Let us share the information with you, and then you may have all your questions answered. Thank you, Mr. Shand. All right, now you have heard that exams will be on Educasoft for math courses. We will be using Moodle for the CCCJ courses. And if you're a student who is doing an ECC program, you will be using Canvas. I am going to invite the representative from the Online and Distance Education Center to tell you a little bit about how you will access these platforms. Mrs. Buchanan? Ms. Buchanan?
Go ahead and unmute now, Mr. Cannon.
Is everyone hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you, but your voice is low.
Yeah, my mic is really, really low, so I'm going to do the best that I can. Are you hearing me any better? Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, perfect. All right, so as Mrs. Grant Walters indicated, those of us who are doing internal exams will be doing via Canvas. Are you hearing me any better?
Not hearing Miss Buchanan at all.
Huh. Are you hearing me now? Hello?
Yes.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, that's a little better.
All right, perfect. All right, so as Mrs. Grant Walters indicated, some of you guys will be using Canvas for your internal assessment. So those who are not doing those Triple CJ courses. So we all should be familiar with logging into Canvas at this point. So when the time arrives for you to do your exams, you will be required to log into Canvas. And when you get into Canvas, the course will be on your dashboard. So when you go into the course, this is what you are going to see. Okay? What you need to do is go to assignments. Now, depending on the course you're doing, that determines the exam that you will be able to access. So you don't need to worry about having to search for your exams. The exams that you need to do will be available to you. So we're going to now look at a sample of how your exam will be set up. So when you click on your exam name, you're going to see something that looks like this. This is the view that you are going to get. So you're going to click on Start Quiz. This says resume because I was testing it. But you're going to click on Start Quiz. You're going to get this notification. Please pay attention to it.
Sorry, Miss Buchanan.
Yes.
I think the persons on Zoom are having a difficulty hearing you.
One idea on how
those on YouTube can hear you, but you're very low on Zoom.
Ah, I think my mic is giving some issues. That's why. Hold on. Persons on Zoom, are you hearing me okay? Can you give me a show of hands or a no if you're, well, a yes if you're hearing me okay? Give me a tick. All right, one person said yes. All right, so persons are saying I'm low, but they're kind of hearing me. So let me just try and get through this. So I was saying, you're going to click on Begin Quiz. When you click on Begin Quiz, you're going to get this notification. So please pay attention to the notifications that pop up. This one tells you that once you have submitted an answer, you will not be able to change it. So that means once you move forward in your questions, you cannot go back, okay? So this is how it is going to look. So you will have your essay type question with your submit button, as well as whatever MCQs or true or false. And again, please pay attention to the notifications that pop up, that once you move forward, you cannot come back. Okay? So once you have gone through all your questions, you click on Submit Quiz, and your quiz will be submitted. So that is the basic setup of your final assessment. Are there any questions?
All right, we have a few raised hands.
Okay.
Mr. Hurd.
Go ahead, Mr. Hurd. Or Mr. Harriet.
Mr. Harriet.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Harriet.
That question was for the math teacher, but he has already gone.
No, man, I'm right here.
Oh, I was asking earlier if do we get additional time to submit upload the working out?
All right, so excellent question. As a matter of fact, I'm responding to WhatsApp messages for that very question. So Mrs. Buchanan Williams would have said to you, you have a 3-hour period to complete a 2-hour exam. So which is why I encouraged you, if your paper starts, and Mrs. Buchanan Williams, if I'm off, please correct me. My understanding, you have a 2-hour final assessment to complete within a 3-hour slot. So if your slot is between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock, I encourage you to start the assessment at 9 o'clock so that at 11 o'clock, when your time would have expired, you have that 1-hour period to take some nice glamour shots of your paper, to put them into sequence and to upload it to the platform. I am discouraging students from waiting until an hour would have passed to complete your stuff, because you will not be able to upload your evidence of work within the 3-hour period. So it's not, you're not going to be disenfranchised by using your examination time to submit your papers. You would have already submitted your paper, and then you'd have that 1-hour period to take photographs, to put them in Microsoft Word or to PDF the file, and then to send it off to us.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay, are there any other
Thank you, Miss. I see White.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So you're saying that if I skip a question and not answer it, I cannot go back to answer the question.
As the setup is currently, that is correct.
So I can't look over the multiple choice paper at all. Once I answer the question and I click next to move on to question 2, then that's it.
As I said, as the setup is currently, that is how it is. Mr. Davis?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so what I'm compared to what we're seeing on Edicus, shouldn't be the same standards apply to Canvas, where a person is able to not spend a whole lot of time on one question, but move on to another question and then come back when it is that they have the time?
Ideally, yes, but as I said to the person before, as it is now, does that mean there is the possibility that it can be adjusted? I would have to, you would have to speak with Mrs. Grant Walters on that.
All right, so students, what we will do, while you're going to have 3 hours to do the exams, the papers are really set up for 2 hours. So you will have an opportunity to carefully check your answers before we move on. However, based on your concerns, we will have a discussion about the concerns that you have raised today, and we will take a decision about how we will proceed where that is concerned.
I have a question to ask. I understand you can't go back because I've done that in various tests with Canvas, so that's not new to me. But my concern is I have a course that is not published. How do I go ahead with doing that exam? And secondly, that question has a essay type section, and I did not see you said anywhere we can submit those work that is being done by essay type.
I did mention it. It was not displayed, but I did mention that you would be presented with a dialog box that would permit you to upload your ETQs, your essay type questions.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Williams. We have heard your concerns and not being able to go back and check your answers. And that is something that we can look at. And remember that this is for Canvas only, not Moodle. All examinations, even if your course for whatever reason is not being seen on Canvas right now, all ECC examinations will be on Canvas. So you'll be able to access examinations for all the courses for which you have a final examination to write.
Grant Walters, could you unmute Dr. Gudapati?
I'm unmuted now. If I may jump in, Mrs. Grant Walters, really quick. I couldn't get on earlier. I was only able to get on now. Ms. Buchanan, can you just forward the question so that the students can see the essay question and see how that displays?
Johnny, come here. Quickly, come here. Johnny, come here. Let me show you something.
So students, the questions
Dr. Gudapati, you're muted.
Oh, I apologize. You will see the essay question as displayed here. The paper will show, this is just a sample. It's not the paper, it's just a sample we put up there. But you will see all your questions displayed on the paper. You will then be given time to do your paper and then upload the paper here. Okay? So you can do it offline. That way in the event that while you're doing anything, you know, your electricity goes or something, at least your paper is saved offline, and then you can upload. Okay, you can upload the paper so that you don't lose it. You will, we will put it in a way so that if you want to type it in, you can type it in. If you want to just put the paper and upload it, there will be another. This is one format that we are going to put up for you. All right, depending on the course and the what the question requires of you. Does anybody have any questions regarding the Canvas format? Miss Myers or May Francis, Miss May Francis, you had a question, your hand is up. No? Miss Williams, you had a question? Kelsey Williams? Please take your hand down if you don't have a question or your question's been answered. Mr. Luza, do you have a question, sir? Okay, so
Miss May Francis can go ahead.
I was asking, what are the ECC courses as opposed to the Triple CJ courses? How do I know which platform I would need to go on to access my exam?
I will leave that to, I will let Mrs. Grant Walters answer that question for you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Gudapati. I'm sorry, my mic was muted. Thank you, Dr. Gudapati. If you're a student of paralegal studies, if you're doing CAPE, CSEC, CAP, or COS, those are ECC programs, supply chain management. So if you have a course outline that says Excelsior Community College on it, then that's an ECC course. If the course outline that you use says the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica, then that's a CCCJ program. School of Business, Computer Studies, Tourism, all of those are CCCJ programs. All right, I'm seeing a number of raised hands. So I'm going to allow those persons to ask their questions now, and we will take other questions at the end. I'm going to start with Sasha Gay.
Good evening. All right, so for the EducaSoft platform, we will be doing the multiple choice, and is it that we should choose questions from section B?
Mr. Shand?
Mrs. Buchanan Williams, are you still there? Is Mrs. Buchanan Williams still there? All right. Okay, Miss McCoy, as I understand it, you'll have 3 questions in section B that you'll be required to answer.
Okay.
So pretty much it's a compulsory paper. So you'll have 3 questions in section B, and you'll have your 20 multiple choice questions.
Okay. And for networking, will that be done on Moodle? Networking and communication.
Yes, all other exams, if it's not an ECC course or a math course, then all other exams will be done on Moodle. That's it, Sasha Gay? Tracy Ann Stewart?
Hello?
Yes, Tracy Ann, please unmute your questions.
All right, you're gonna move to Corey.
Corey?
All right, good night. So I'm a first year student. Question though. So at the original part of the session, it was stated that we have to ensure that we are clear to do the examinations. I have been trying to call up student finance for apparently 2 weeks now. I work as well, so when I go there as well, there is like very hectic and full, and I understand that there's only 2 or 3 persons that is assigned to that department. Is there a case where a list will be sent out so we know if we're cleared, or how are we so sure of our status? Because nobody's answering the phone, as well as I do understand that the ladies up there are very busy, so we can't even say we can blame them in that aspect because their job is very hectic as well. And I have a busy schedule, so I have no time to be back and forth, up and down.
Can I take that one?
Yes, sir.
All right, in answer to your question, if you're cleared, when you go into ERN, it will tell you that you are registered. If you are not registered, there is some issue with your account, and you can, if you can't get them via the telephone, you can send an email to student finances, studentfinance@ecc.edu.jm, and they will respond to that. Or you can drop a message in the online chat for the Student Finance Department, and they will respond to that in due course.
All right, thank you for that answer. However, we're on the area and shows that you're registered. Is there a specific section that I need to go to?
So on the left side, you have registration, and then you have under registration, check registration status. And then on the right side, you would select the semester for which you want to check your registration status, and it will tell you if you're registered or unregistered for the semester.
All right, thank you. You can go ahead and mute me.
If you have courses across different segments, for example, some persons may be doing courses in the day and some on the weekend, you'll have to check your registration for both segments. Or if you're doing CAPE and CXC as well, you'd have to check your registration for all segments that you have courses in. Okay?
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna ask. All right, so I think the host is not aware they can't unmute, so I've been asking them to unmute in an orderly fashion. So, Ms. Palmer, the request was just sent to you, so you can ask your question.
Hi, good evening. Mrs. Walters, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard you said that the consideration would have been given for questions to go back, but you said that it wouldn't be that can't be done for exams and Moodle.
I did not say
correct?
that. No, the
I just want to clarify.
Ms. Buchanan shared is for the Canvas platform. It did not apply to Moodle.
And that consideration can't be done for Moodle, or what?
I don't think Moodle is set up in that way. I think you should.
It is not set up?
Mrs. Buchanan Williams? Mrs. Williams, will they be able to go back on Moodle?
Mrs. Williams is muted.
Can you unmute her, please, sir?
She can go ahead and unmute herself.
Go ahead, Mrs.
Thank you. So you will have the option in the Moodle for your multiple choice items. You will have the option to go back and look at your multiple choice items before you submit. So you'll have to submit the paper when you're finished.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Rashida Hamilton. Janell Palmer. For those raised hands, if you do not have questions, I'm going to ask you to lower them, please. Kimani, 5. Tracy Ann.
Patrick Stevenson. Miss Grant Walters, the names are not appearing on my screen as they are on yours, so I will unmute them and they will present.
Okay. The chat is saying that they are complaining that they can't unmute, so I'm not sure if we could just unmute everybody so it is that they can speak.
No, because when we do that, there are constant interruptions. So Patrick Stevenson can go ahead.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. I just wanted to confirm, how do we know if a course has multiple choice or not? Is it that if it's just 48 hours alone, it means that it doesn't have a multiple choice, and only when there's a time slot, for example, 9 to 12, or?
I believe that question is made, and yes, once there's a time slot there, it tells you that it has a multiple choice. If there's no time slot, then it is a paper that has a case study and the structured responses.
Okay, then. Thank you.
If you do not have questions, I'm going to ask.
Mrs. Grant Walters?
Yes.
Okay, I'm seeing some questions on YouTube. The students are complaining, although I'm trying to answer them in the chat. Some of them are not reading the chat messages. But some of them are saying that they are registered for courses that should be on the CCC platform, Moodle, but they're not seeing the course in Moodle. So I don't know if Mr. Pinnock can address that.
Unless that registration came sometime late in December, then they would have been registered on Moodle for all of the courses that are on the list from CCC. I cannot comment generally. If those persons have an issue, we're always on the chat and we are available via smsadmin@ecc.edu.jm to deal with specific queries. But as far as I know, up until December 8th, all the persons who selected courses that were on the CCC platform, they were so enrolled in those courses.
May I speak? I'm already speaking though. I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
It's about the timetable. All right. For example, what time is it? All right. For example, my class or my exam start at 7 and it ends at 9 p.m. and I have 48 hours to do it. In between the 48 hours, 24 hours makes one day. Can I do it the other day instead of the 24 hours? Like I can take a break the first day and I can do it the other hours, or is it just at a fixed time? Or is it just in between the 24 hours? I mean the 48 hours.
Okay, I think I can take that, Mrs. Walters. So let me clear the air. For the section B, you will be able to download your question paper. You can log off the system, work on your paper, and then upload it when you're finished. You don't have to sit on the platform for the entire time. So once the paper is made available, you can go ahead, download, and when you're finished, you can go back on the system and upload your paper, your solution.
Okay.
Mrs. Williams, I have a question for you. Do we have to complete section A before we move on to section B?
Yes, you do. You have to complete section A before you can access section B.
We take the next question.
Andre Loza.
Yes, good evening. Question for the exams on Edico staff. Section the section we will get to choose the question. Is it that we don't need to cite our information? The citing is for like the case study.
I'm sorry, no, Mr. Loza. The questions for your math questions will be of a traditional format, so you'll not be getting a case study for the math courses.
Yes, but like Caribbean studies.
No, you said you made mention of Educosoft. Remember that Educosoft is purely math.
Okay.
Right. But you will have a case study for your other courses, yes.
All right.
Tashana Phillips.
All right, good night. I know someone asked a question earlier, but just for clarity, I have 3 exam courses: human resource management, um, financial accounting 2, and organizational behavior. But however, I have access to one on Moodle, and it wasn't in my case. It's not a case of late registration. How do I go about solving that, please? I'm a 3rd year in Sobes.
Mr. Christina?
You said it's not a case of late
Not a
registration?
case of late registration.
And you're saying you only have one of them on your profile
So I
in
have 4 courses this semester and 2 is on Moodle, but one is not an exam course.
2 is on Moodle.
I have human resource on Moodle and administrative communication.
Right. And you're saying that those 2
I'm
are
not
on Moodle.
seeing, yes, and I'm not seeing financial accounting 2
You said
and
financial accounting
organization.
2 is not an exam.
No, it is an exam course. I don't have access to it on Moodle.
That's a resit or
No, it is not. That's financial accounting 2 and organizational behavior.
I would have to check your specific account. I can't speak to it without knowing further details, but if you selected it in time, then it would have been pushed. So as I said, I will have to look into that specific one.
Okay, but on Canvas, when you register and Canvas is populated and you see the
Yes.
Moodle sign for the courses that you have,
Right.
it is not there for those 2 either.
It is not there for those 2
No.
either. All right. That means that it's not picking it up for some reasons, and I'd have to check into that. So why didn't you bring it to the attention of someone earlier on?
I
Because this
wasn't
has
aware
been
that I wasn't aware that the exam would have been done in Moodle.
no, but whether or not the exam was done in Moodle or not, Moodle would have had course information for your course. And in order to access that information, then you would have needed access to the course, whether it was on Moodle or Canvas. So if you were not seeing it on either platform,
No, they're on Canvas. They're just not on Moodle. So for the assessment purpose, how do I go about treating with it? Because those 2 are exam courses and
no, you're saying
I'm
that the
not seeing
courses
them.
are on no, but you just said they're not on Canvas either.
Yes, man, they're on Canvas, but the 2 that I'm speaking of, I'm saying when you go on Canvas, when you have access to them on Moodle, there's a Moodle sign there on Canvas. I don't have that for those 2.
Yes, but I'm saying if the course is on Canvas, that means it is not on Moodle. And
Mr. Pinnock,
yes,
Mr. Pinnock, I'm looking. Is it Miss Phillips, Tashana Phillips?
Yes.
Okay, I believe what she's saying is 2 of our courses are modal courses in terms
Yes.
of Ms. Phillips. The here what it is that all your courses are triple CJ courses.
Yes.
However, only 2 of them for this semester were hosted on the Moodle platform, whereas the other 2 were hosted on Canvas. That's why you see the Moodle logo on 2 of them and you don't speak on the other 2.
So,
However, all your tests will be on Moodle, regardless of whether you used Canvas or Moodle. Okay.
so when I log into Moodle, I'll be able to see
Take
those 2,
all
even
the
though I wasn't seeing them before.
right. I mean, if you're fully registered, everything, you will have access to all your exams and everything on Moodle for all of those courses. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you. Next question.
Good afternoon. Good evening. So I have 2 questions. You hearing me clearly?
Yes.
Yeah. The first question I'm asking is about persons who have a clash. What's the plan where that is concerned? That's one question. The second one is I want to be certain. So you're saying that if the course carries a multiple choice, you get a separate 40 minutes to complete that, and then you have a 48-hour section to do if your case studies are essays?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So in terms of the clash, how do we do that aspect of it?
For the clash, please contact your school, give them the information, or if you send me a message in the chat right now, I can take that information for you. We are making arrangements to accommodate those students who have clashes. For the multiple choice, you do have a 3-hour window in which to complete the papers, but send us the information and we will make arrangements to accommodate you where those clashes are concerned.
Okay. So a quick one.
Do this by your school.
Okay. A quick one on that note. So we also there are so many I'm doing about 5 courses, right? I am not sure as to the setup of these courses, if there's multiple choices, straight case studies, or what. They don't want to show up, because what you're seeing on the timetable is 48 hours. It doesn't say start 9, 6, 5, 4, whatever. All right. So just kind of give you some clarity. Once it's 48 hours, it's just 9 o'clock to whatever time it is when that 48 hour ends, or what's the case of it?
Repeat your question, please.
Okay, so most of my course is saying 48 hours, right? And I think I heard you said 48 hours start at 9 o'clock, right?
Yes, from the time you access the paper, yes, you have 48 hours within.
Okay, so if tomorrow is
the date of the exam, so it's the date of the exam.
Okay, so if tomorrow is exam and I sign in at 12:01 this morning, tomorrow morning, that's the start of my 48 hours. That tomorrow will be the 20th, and tomorrow is the start of my exam. And I log in at 12:01 in the morning, midnight, that period. That's the start of my 48 hours.
No, Mrs. Williams, take that one for us, please.
Sure, no problem. Okay, I'm not sure who I'm talking to, so I'll not call a name. For courses that you're seeing, just 48 hours. The access will be given at 9 a.m. every morning that you're assigned an exam that has, not an exam, an assessment that has 48 hours. So those that you're not seeing a section A, you notice on the timetable is a section A and you'll see 40 minutes. And then you'll see a 48 hours in section B. Those are the ones with multiple choice. Those that you're not seeing any time given in section A, and you're just seeing a 48 hours running across the time section, or you're seeing a 24 hours running across the time section, those you will have access. You will be given access at 9 a.m. every day. Now you have until 9 a.m. plus or minus a few minutes, 48 hours after. So if it is on a Monday, 9 a.m., you have until Wednesday, 9 a.m. to return the paper, to upload the paper. So it is not that you access it 12 o'clock, 12 midnight Wednesday, you have 48 hours. It is 48 hours after the exam is made accessible. So when you access the exam, it's not when the time starts counting. It starts counting as soon as a paper is accessible. Did I clear up your concern?
Yes, yes, I was muted earlier. Yeah, but that cleared my concern. Cause that's one more quick question. In terms of Turnitin, so once we complete each coursework or essay or whatever it is, and we turn it in, on Turnitin, we get a receipt, essay, right? And then we attach that and then upload it in Moodle. Can you walk us through that aspect and what the percentage of similarities that you're looking for?
All right, I think, Mrs. Walters, that you have Turnitin to talk about on this slide. I don't want to jump ahead.
All right, Dr. Gudapati, that one is for you.
The Turnitin, we do have Turnitin integrated into Canvas, but however, it's not in, I don't know how Triple CJ is treating that in the Moodle platform. What we will be doing is, and this is something that we actually will have a little further discussion on, because we only have a certain amount of licenses, student licenses. So in order to ensure that all papers go through, we would, the lecturers would actually have to get the papers to check it off for the students. So this is something, unfortunately, we will have to, we have a little further discussion to do, and we will inform the students in the sessions, the upcoming sessions that we're doing, to sensitize you on the Turnitin usage. Note, students, that we are setting up departmental sensitization sessions so that per department you will have, because we know we have questions regarding your department and any any queries that you have that relate to your subjects. So we will have departmental sessions so we can address those. Please look for the links and check with your department head as to when your sessions will be held. It will be within this week, and we'll have morning sessions. It could be a morning, afternoon, or evening session. You'll be provided with the link so you can attend the sessions, and you'll be told ahead of time. I just wanted to quickly share with you the Moodle site for some of you who may not have seen what that looks like, and show you where you'll be logging in. So this is the Moodle site that you'll be logging in. ICT will already have, either some of you may have gotten them already, or you will be in the process of getting them, because it does take time to load everybody up. So you will be getting, look for that email, please, from Triple CJ, I believe will be sending it, with your login information, where you'll be given a your login name, your username, and a password, and then you'll be given instructions to change your password. Please make sure that you can do so for those of you who are going to be taking your tests on Moodle. And if you have any issues, please do contact either ICT, or even you can even send us an email at ODEC, and we'll try and help as much as we can to ensure that we get you onto the system and have no issues logging in, etc., to take your tests.
Thank you, Dr. Gudapati.
Sorry, just 1 second. Are you all hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. The site that Dr. Gudapati just referenced is the regular Moodle site that the students who have been doing courses since this semester are currently on. However, their credentials and everything will be moving to a new site for the purpose of the examinations. Their user accounts are currently in the process of being created, and starting tomorrow, we will be sending out credentials to all the students who will be taking Triple CJ exams this semester. And we're going to encourage all of those students to to test those logins and report back to us if there are any issues with those logins. Now, for the students who have been doing courses on Moodle since the start of the semester, those logins will not work for your exam. So pay careful attention to your college email account over the next day, as we will be sending you credentials and a link for the Triple CJ examination site.
Thank you, Mr. Pinnock. All right, we still have quite a few questions there. Let us take one more. And students, if you've asked your questions already, please lower your hands.
Kian O'Connor.
Good evening.
Just before you speak, ladies and gentlemen, when you get the ask to unmute button, please just address it and ask your question. Otherwise, we'll have to move on to someone else. So pay attention when that request is sent to you. Go ahead, Kian.
Good evening. I was asking, just to clarify, it's just the section B of the math examinations that we should upload the working note for, or both sections?
Just the section B.
Okay, sir.
Next person.
Hi, good evening. All right, so I'm doing financial accounting too, and all the material for the course has been posted. Well, all the material I've been posting on Canvas throughout the semester. I have never used Moodle before. I have no clue how to use it as to what it looked like, apart from when it was just displayed on the screen. So I am clueless as to how to use Moodle. Will there be a sensitization session in that regard, like what was done? And
Your connection's very poor. We are not hearing you.
All right. Let me just address part of what I heard. Dr. Gudapati said earlier that there will be sensitization sessions on a department basis for those who need further training in Moodle. And she can speak some more to that if she's still on.
Right, I'm here, Mr. Pinnock. Yes, so as to that question, and I only got a little bit of it, but we are setting up sessions so that we can show you how the Moodle system works and how it will look for you in terms of the multiple choice questions and how to upload and so forth. So we're going to sensitize you on how to use that Moodle system, as well as, again, show those of you who have been using the Canvas quickly a refresher on that as well. And EducaSoft, again, just to show you how all of these systems work, okay? I know, students, that you are quite concerned and you feel a bit pressured and so forth. I'm reading the chats, and we do understand that this is a lot going on for you. We do understand that. But just to let you know, the platforms work similarly. There is not much difference in when you use the Canvas system versus the Moodle system. It's you're going to click the button to take the exam, do the multiple choice, just pretty much the same way. Okay, but we are going to set up those sensitization sessions with your departments so that you can have more of you can attend, not just on YouTube, and you can ask the questions that you need to ask, and we'll go through it with you and help you understand before you take the exam, okay? So please know that we're going to do our very best to make sure you're not feeling all that extra pressure about being on a different system.
Okay, thank you.
Just quickly also for evening students, we are setting up sessions for evening students as well, not just for the day students. I know evening students are concerned, and we do understand you have obligations that you're unable to come for the day sessions. So we're setting up evening sessions for you as well. And if we have to, we'll set up some Saturday sessions so that you can all be able to come and see, and we'll provide the links to the sessions on our ODEC channel so that you can view them in case you missed them.
Yes, good evening. I have 3 questions. I thought someone had said that they're going to change the Moodle login. I'm not sure if I heard correctly because I already have access to Moodle and I log in okay. I'm logging in okay. So I wanted to find out if it's a situation where we're going to be receiving a new password in order to do the exams. That's one. Normally when I did my mid-semester exam, I got a notification that the exam will be open at X time. Will we be receiving notifications for our exams? And the final question is for Edicosoft. Normally when I'm on Edicosoft, I get a password. Are we going to be getting a password for Edicosoft, or as I log on and go to assignments, then it's automatic for me to see the paper to be done?
Right, correct. For the last question, so as soon as the assessment becomes available, you will not be required to use a password. You go ahead and you access your assessment. So the assessment will be made available. What Educosoft can do is upload the examinations all at once, but preset the time. So as 9 o'clock comes on a particular day or 1 o'clock comes on a particular day, the assessment becomes active. So all that can be done from the level of the CCCJ or Edico International. So so there's no password to access the assessment. There will be no password to access the assessment.
Okay, so once I log on and go to assignments and the time is in the time for the exam, I'll be able to access it.
Right, but please be reminded again, students, I cannot overemphasize this. The assessment must be completed in one sitting. The math courses are different from the other courses. You have 2 hours to come. I know you understand it, but I feel the importance of saying it again. You have a 3-hour slot to complete a 2-hour final assessment, plus the upload of your final assessment documents.
Will we be getting notifications for the other exams to say the exam portal is now open, we can sit our exams now? And my last question was, I thought I heard something about the Moodle login being changed. Is that correct? Because I know currently log on onto Moodle. So will that login change?
All right. As I mentioned before, the site that you're currently using to access your classes on Moodle is not the same site as the site that is set up for your CCCJ exams.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
As a result of that, we will be sending you new credentials for that site starting sometime tomorrow. We're gonna ask you that as soon as you get those new credentials, along with the login, the site address or URL, that you test those logins, and if there are any issues, then you report back those situations to us. Going forward, we'll also be setting up a help desk helpline specifically to address exam issues, whether those be exam issues on the Moodle platform or on the Canvas platform, or even on the Educus platform. No, Mr. Shan mentioned that he would be speaking to the ICT department on this matter, but that is something that is already in train. And so over the next few days, we will be sending out a number of communication as to how to access our helpline, as well as how to access the Moodle site for those who will be doing their exams on Moodle. I'm gonna implore everyone that between now and Friday, that if you're having any issues accessing your college email, the college Canvas site, if you're doing exams on Canvas, that you reach out to us, because access to those sites will be critical going forward. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. About the notification. So if I'm having an exam on a particular day, would I be getting a notification to say I have exam on that day, or I just have to go on?
You need to check your timetable regularly to see when you have exams and make notes in your personal calendar regarding those issues. I can, however, speak to the persons at CCCJ to see if that is a possibility, or if that is something that they have in place for this round of exams. But if not, a good thing to do would be to start entering your exams in your personal calendar on your smart device or your smartphone, or even on your tablet, so that it gives you notifications in lieu of that happening. I'm not currently aware that notifications will be sent, but you need to continue to check your email and to check your exam timetable so that you don't miss an exam.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, that's it.
Thank you. We'll take another question.
Good evening.
Go ahead.
Evening.
I was querying about the Turnitin earlier in relation to, I did not get to go to the session because I'm an evening student and I was at work. So I don't know if anyone can give me just a small briefing on that.
We'll be going over Turnitin in the sessions that we do with the departmental sensitization. When we do that, we'll be going through Turnitin and we'll be posting some links, etc., so that you can have access to see what they, as soon as Turnitin sends it to us, we'll send those sessions to you to show you how those work as well. But we'll go through it with you in the sessions that we're hosting. I'm not sure who I was talking to. Is it Tracy? I hope that answers your question.
Yes, where's
Okay.
Tracy?
Okay, Tracy. I hope that answers your question. We will go over it with you, Tracy, in our departmental session. So you'll be able to find out how it works, and we'll also send you the links once Turnitin sends it to us on the sessions that they did.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm just going to take a few more questions. We have a number of questions from students still. I'm seeing quite a few raised hands.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, good night again, guys. So the person that answered my question previously about the area, I did send you a message. However, I went on the area and I'm seeing all my other courses, but I am also registered for IT, which I see on the final timetable. However, when I went on area and just now, I'm not seeing IT, but I'm seeing every other course that I'm registered for. And the last class I had with the IT lecturer, she said that persons are in the class and they're not registered. And she did go through a list, and my name was on the list. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do the final exam or and I got to with somebody from finance and they said I'm all cleared. However, I'm just not seeing it on my area. And should that be something I should be worried about?
Did you score? Because if you're not seeing
Can I
it,
take that question?
yes.
Corey Ferguson, I don't know. Your last two digits are 39, Corey?
That's correct.
You are registered for the fundamentals of IT on my screen.
Okay, so there's nothing I should be worried about
And
when
if
it comes to
you're
the final.
registered on my screen, that's the important screen to be registered on at this time.
All right, not a problem. Thank you so much. That was my final question.
Yes, good night. I'm currently now on the ECC website on the CSEC examination timetable where I'm seeing that the dates are incorrect. However, I will consider that examination do start next week. But my main, you're hearing me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my main concern is that I don't see no time as to what time exams will begin. I don't see no time on the timetable.
Sorry, can you tell me where you are?
On the ECC website, I went up at the three thing. I went to the current student, then I went to exam, and then I went to I saw the timetables for eternal ECC programs, and I went to CSEC and CAPE.
Oh, you're a CSEC student.
Yes,
Okay.
miss.
CSEC program, we will have the exam being available for 24 hours. And once you access the exam, you will complete within 3 hours. So you will not find a set time because you can access at any time on that day, but you will have to give yourself sufficient time to complete the exam. That's a 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
So the exam will be available, for example, from 9 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock the following day. And once you access the paper, you will have 3 hours to complete it.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, hello, good night.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Hello, good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, my question is really directed at Ms. Williams. It's pretty much a simple question. I just want to confirm it has to do with the timetable. I am thinking that is the customer service. The date based on I'm thinking it's February the 5th. But I just want to confirm because on page 9, I'm seeing at the top, I'm seeing February the 4th. and then there's a double line, but I'm not seeing a date after the double line. So I am assuming that is February the 5th, but the Friday, but I just want to confirm to make sure. Is that the case? Is it February the 5th for customer service?
I am not looking at a timetable at this time. I can check in a few. However, the date is to, looking directly at the paper, the date is to your left. It's not actually at the top. The date is in the left column for the examinations. So you'll have the date, then you'll have the duration, and then you have the name of the course.
Yes, that is correct. It is at the left. What I'm saying is, okay, I'm seeing Thursday, February the 4th, and I'm seeing a couple courses, but there is a double line separating the page. Right? There's a double line. So I'm assuming that the courses after the double line would probably be February the 5th, but I'm not seeing February the 5th actually typed there. So I just want to be, I'm just trying to confirm that is February the 5th and not February the 4th. Because seeing that it's an exam, I wouldn't want to be assuming.
All right, Mr.
Okay,
James,
I'm
do you see
checking.
February 5th further down the page?
No, I'm not seeing February the 5th. February the 4th is at the top, but there is a double line that sort of almost as if it puts the page in two halves or two segments. And then after the double line, I'm seeing the other course is continuing. So I am trying to, the thing is doing on previous pages, whenever there is a double line, then there is a different date that comes after the double line. But on page 9, I am not seeing a different date. So I don't want to just assume that, oh yes, this must be February the 5th for customer service. I just want to confirm that everything after the double line is for the Friday. That's what I'm assuming. But I say this is not good to assume.
I just opened the timetable. I'm not sure why you're not seeing the February the 5th, but you are correct. Customer service is scheduled for Friday, February the 5th.
Oh, okay, good. All right then. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
Next question. All right, so while we are awaiting the next question, Mr. Peter, could you tell us more about the support services that we will have in place for students? We will be making the facilities of the college available for those who have access issues, and we will have a help desk. So if you're having challenges during the examination period, you may contact us. Could you just share a little bit about how students will be able to access the facilities of the college, Mr. Pinnock?
Okay, can you all hear me? You hearing me, Ms. Walters?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So for your upcoming exams, as I mentioned before, for the persons who would be doing their exams on Moodle, that new credentials and the URL for the Moodle examination site will be sent to you sometime during the day tomorrow. And we're requesting that all of you As soon as you get that email, start testing your credential and the link to ensure that you do have access to that site. Um, if if for any reason the credentials that you're sent are not working, then we're gonna ask you to send back information to the email address that will be outlined in that communication. In addition to that, we will also be setting up, we will be beefing up our support. Now, normally to access support from ICT, you can do so through a couple of means right now. One of them is our online chat, which is available via the website, and we normally operate that platform on most days between 8 and 9 p.m. each day. So whenever you go there, you will get access to a particular person. You'll get access to someone to speak to and to address your issues. We currently have very few persons manning that chat. But going into the exam period, we hope to add several more seats to all versions of our online support. In addition, we will be adding a telephone helpline so that persons who are experiencing challenges can also call in via that means. And that initial email will spell out a number of those things, including the number that you're to call in order to get assistance through the telephone helpline. And all of this is in an effort to ensure that you are able to smoothly transition into your exams and to quickly resolve any issues that you may have during the course of your exams. Now, this helpline will not only be for the purpose of reporting issues with your login. This helpline will also field questions and queries relating to things that might happen to you during an exam. So for example, if you lose connectivity during an exam, then these will be the mechanisms that you will need to report such issues through, and then we will assign it to somebody who will guide you as to what is the next step to ensure that you are actually able to take your exam during this period. So that is what we're currently working to have in place, and that helpline should be in place throughout the course of your exams from the 25th right through to February 5th. The operating hours for the telephone helpline will be between 8 and 4, but our online chat will be available until 9 o'clock on the days mentioned. And if there are any adjustments to that schedule, we will let you know via your college email. And so you can make the adjustment for that. All right. Now, in addition to that, in addition to the helpline, we will continue to maintain our email support via the regular email address, which is smsadmin@ecc.edu.jm. And if there are any additional email addresses that we will bring into play during this period, we will advise you of that via email, so that no matter what the situation is, um, we will provide a mechanism for you to reach out to us. And so we'll inform you of those as we go along. Now, one of the things that as students you need to pay particular attention to at this time is to ensure that the courses that you are supposed to be sitting for examinations during this period, that all of those courses are outlined in your Arion, on your Arion platform. So as I indicated earlier to, I think it was Corey, we need you to go log into your Arion accounts. On the left side, look at registration and click check registration, and select the different segments that you may be enrolled for this semester. So whether you're an undergrad day, an undergrad evening student, whether you're postgraduate, or whether you're doing CSEC or CAPE examinations, we need you to check your registration to, first of all, ensure that you are registered for all your courses. The second thing that you want to do, aside from checking that you are registered for all your courses, the next step is that you want to ensure that you are actually registered for these courses, because as it stands, you need to be properly registered to be entered for exams, no matter what platform you will be doing that exam on. And so we urge and implore you that you make the necessary effort to get yourself properly registered in advance of your exams. And now, ladies and gentlemen, some of you in the past have waited until the day of the exam to get a pass to go to the exams. Now, it's a lot different here and during this period, because changes will have to be made to systems in order to get you into the exams, and those changes will need to be made at least 24 hours in advance of the exam for you to be properly registered for them. And so if you wait until the day of the exam, you're likely going to miss that exam altogether. Now, we know that so moving from that, we also recognize that many of you have been having various challenges throughout the semester, challenges with access to devices, and also challenges with basic access to reliable internet. And so in order to assist persons who may have those challenges, we have also put in place a number of locations on the main campus where persons can do one of two things. So we're offering two types of services here. One, if a person has challenges with access to devices, we will be making available computer stations in all our labs on the main campus. Of course, the regular standard operating procedures for COVID-19 will have to be followed in these labs. So one, even though the labs are equipped for for 30 and for 25. No lab will be at that capacity because we have to space you. So we're looking at numbers between 12 and 15 per lab.
Sorry, Mr. Pinnock, I'm sorry, but some students are saying that they're not hearing.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, that's much better now. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. So as I was saying, going into the exams, we recognize that some of you may be having challenges with access to devices and also access to sorry, one second. Ms. Walters, can you just bring up back the program on the main screen? That screen that you shared at the start?
Yeah.
Can you do that for me, please?
The slides?
Yeah, even a blank slide. That one is good enough. You can just go F5 and highlight your screen. You can leave it on the first one. All right.
The first one.
Yeah, it's just to stop the random sharing of screens. Right. As I was saying, we know you have access challenges. And so in order to assist you with that, we're making a number of spaces on the campus available to those students who need this type of support. We will be making available for every exam session at least 100 computer seats. In addition to those computer seats, we will also be making available at present 150 regular seats in classrooms where students can bring their own devices if they have those to utilize the internet access here on campus in order to do their exams. Students can also use different spaces all around the campus outside of those rooms, or you can drive up to certain points, stay in your vehicle, and do your exams during the course of the period from January 25th through February 5th. However, we note that we can't accommodate everyone, and such accommodations will have to be in an orderly fashion. And so to facilitate that, we will be using a system and asking the students to actually log or reserve the time that they wish to come on campus and make their bookings for whatever exams they have on those particular days. All right. So on our main YouTube site, which is youtube.com/ECCJM, you will find a video that is entitled Exam 2021, Reserve Room for Examinations. There's a rough draft there now, an updated one will be placed there tomorrow that will actually show you how to go through the process of registering for your exam. Now, registration to use any of the spaces that we're providing will be done via the website that is currently being shown on your screen. It is actually, the URL is actually mys.ecc.edu.jm. You will be presented with the screen that you see in front of you, and be able to sign in using your school email address. And just to give you a quick demo of the process, we didn't have much time to add sound to this one, but we'll place the updated one as of tomorrow. You will actually go through the process of typing in your college email address. And then once you click next, it will bring you to that familiar single sign-on screen. And you will then type in your regular ECC credentials here to gain access to that site. And that's the credentials that you would currently use to get access to Canvas, or even your email accounts, as well as the one that you use to go to Zoom. You'll be presented with a number of choices, so you can select computer labs if you want to book a room, and it will present you with a calendar, right? And you can basically, if you don't want a computer lab, you can select one of the many rooms that we will make available for you to also do your exams on that day, right? And so we want to ensure that whether or not you have good access at home, that you have a mechanism for actually sitting your exam successfully, and also so that you may complete your course of study successfully, because we're here to serve you and to provide you with the means to complete your education, or complete this stage of your education. All right, so that's it in a nutshell from us at ICT. I'm sure you will have questions, and we're always here via online chat or via email to answer those questions. So we hand it back over to our chair, Mrs. Grant Walters. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Pinnock. So if you need to use the facilities of the college, we have systems in place to assist you. Mr. Pink, I don't know if you could just type that URL address in the chat so that students may have it. I typed it, but I need to be certain that what I typed is correct. We will assist you. So if you have connectivity issues and you need to come on campus to complete any of your assessment pieces, you may make a booking and we will make provision to assist you.
Somebody needs to mute. Close your browser. Oh, no, it's me.
All right, now you have been given a lot of information tonight. What we shared on Moodle and Canvas was sent out to students via email. I'm not certain if you have been able to read the communication that has been coming to you from the college. In the coming days, please keep checking your email so that you will see the communication that we send out to you. We will continue to support you through this period, leading up to the assessment period, as well as during the period, because we want you all to do well. there have been a number of changes, and I know that some of you are a little bit concerned going into the exam period. Please be assured that we are here to support you so that you will get through this period successfully. We will continue to have sensitization sessions. We will continue to communicate with you where we can send you videos giving you guidance on how to get things done. We will also share that with you. Gudapati, is there anything at all that you can share with the students about Turnitin? It is one of the requirements, and that is something else that we are going to be sharing with you as we go along. And departmental sessions are also organized so that you will get the information. When we have the sessions, we will share with you the recordings so that if you're not able to attend, you will be able to access the information that was shared. I don't know if any of the other team members has anything that they would like to share. Mrs. Williams from CCCJ.
No, Mrs. Walters, I think that is it.
Students, just I know I'm reading the chat and I'm seeing a lot of people are very anxious and stressed, but I just want you to know that we're going to try and make this as smooth as possible for you, and you're getting a lot of information. As I said, we will have those sessions, so you will be able to ask any question specific to your department and anything you're having concerns with. All right, so we can make sure that you're more comfortable when you're going, and we're going to provide different ways for you to be able to ensure that you're comfortable when you're going on these various platforms. Some of you had some questions that weren't answered. Please, I'm putting my email address here so you can send them to me and I will forward them to the right people. I'm just typing that in for you so that you can see that. All right, you can send it to us at the ODEC and we will forward it to the right people. I know you had questions that you were unable to ask them. So send your specific questions there and we will try and assist you as best as possible in getting them to the right folks. We may not be able to answer them all, but we'll try and certainly get them to the right people so that they can help and answer those questions for you. But please don't panic and please don't be anxious. We're going to try our best, as Mr. Pinnock explained, many of the features support services that are being put in place to assist you to make sure you're up and running. And the exams are not going to be, they've been set up so that they actually provide you with more time to be able to do the exam. And I know it seems like that is not the case. We'll inform you of all of these things again in the sensitization sessions and give you more time to ask any questions that you may have.
All right, we have two students, Shamoy and Yaking. I think it is. I would like to give them an opportunity to ask their questions. Could they be unmuted, please, Mr. Pinnock? We have, I think it's Yaking. Sorry if I mispronounced, and Shamoy.
Have them go ahead.
Good night. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
My question is, as it pertains to the email for the new Moodle password and username. I received one this morning because I volunteered to do the simulation. So I was wondering if it would be the same one that I set up, or would I be receiving a different one?
The one that you received this morning was just for the test purposes only.
Just for the
I've been
simulation.
advised by Triple CJ that those will be inactive by Friday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so good night. Yaking here. My question is similar because just to narrow things down, I'm doing computer science at Excelsior, and I want to know which platform my exams will be available on.
Computer science is a triple CJ course, and it will be available on Moodle.
On Moodle. And I got the thing this morning that Shemai got as well.
Same response.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ellis here. I have a question. So I still don't have the college thing quite down yet. So I was going through the timetable that was sent. Now it's on the website, ECC website. So I was going to the timetable, and it's an overwhelming amount of exams. I noticed there was program code on the right hand side. So I searched through the entire document by my program code, which is AMIS 1101, right? And only 3 exams were there. So that means in total I only have 3 final exams, or should I look somewhere else for other exams?
Just to clarify, when you said you looked at the thing for exams, where did you look?
So I went to ECC website. I went on the current students and the timetable for schedule. Hold on, let me look back at it to make sure I'm telling you the right information. So I went under CCCJ, triple CJ exam timetable, right? Semester 1, January 2021, sorry, finals, right? When that document, when I select it, download, get them on my phone, and it's a long list of exams, right? And I search by program code. So I look for the exams that are linked to my program, and only 3 exams come as a result, which is Introduction to Programming, MIS, and Math. Is there another list or another timetable I should be looking for the rest of courses that I do?
Mr. Pinnock, can I answer that question, please?
Go ahead.
Some of the courses that you're doing are not MIS specific, sir. So for example, Fundamentals of IT is done by many programs. And so you can't look for the program code alone. You're going to look for the specific courses that you're doing. So for example, Fundamentals of IT, I think you'll see general there are all, for example. So don't just look for MIS alone, okay?
Okay.
All right. The only course you wouldn't see is Communication 1 because that doesn't have a final exam.
Okay, miss. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. So I asked a question before regarding the new login thing that I received this morning. So when will I get another login for the exams itself, since the one that I got this morning will expire Friday coming? Hello?
The one that
Is Introduction to Management System on the timetable? Is it Intro to MIS? That's an associate degree, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Good night. Hello?
Yes, night, go ahead.
All right, night. So I'm a 3rd-year student. We have IBM, that is International Business Management, on the 2nd of February. Our lecturer had previously told us that it's a 3-hour exam where we will get 10 multiple choice and 2 case studies. but however, on the Triple CJ timetable, we're seeing 48 hours. Can I get some clarity on that, please?
What your teacher told you initially is not the structure of the exam for this semester. You should be guided by what you see on the timetable now and what you have been told in this session.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Good night, miss. Are you hearing me?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm having the same issue as Corey, where I'm seeing that I'm not registered.
Hi, may I just jump in to ask
Hold on.
questions that are that believe they have gone through the registration process and are now checking and seeing that they're not registered? You can log on to the website. Finance is currently online. I just got through to them and they cleared me and I was okay. And it is now showing me that I'm registered. So persons who are having that issue can just log on to the website and use the chat to speak to somebody from finance.
Okay, thank you.
But you know you registered on area because I sent them a chat from last week. And when I checked my registration status, I said not registered. And the lady said she registered me.
Clearance. You just log in, they'll ask you for your ID number, you provide it, and then they'll do the necessary.
I did, and she said she registered me, and when I go on area and I check
Last week.
register.
So
Huh?
you said you did that last week. And if
Yes.
you have further grievance, you have to use that channel to address it. There is no one in this meeting that can address that for you substantially outside of student finance. So if you still have an issue with what was done or not done, then you need to consult back with them. If they said that they had registered you, but you're not seeing that, then as your colleague directed, student finance is online now. You can log in and speak to someone and find out why you're not cleared.
Sir, I have a question. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Is there some sort of registration we're supposed to do again for persons like me who are already registered for the courses?
Not that I'm aware of.
Like registration to do the exams?
No, if you have finalized your registration and when you check your registration, you're seeing registered, then you will also be registered for your exams. If you're seeing any status other than registered when you check Arian, that means that you're not registered for your examination.
Okay, sir.
Wait, sir, can you just repeat that?
As has always been the case, all students are required to be registered for their examinations. And so the registration is normally finalized by the Student Finance Department. Now, an unregistered status doesn't always indicate a financial issue. It may mean that something got overlooked. So if you're not seeing your status as registered, it means that you're not currently entered for exams. And so you would want to reach out to the student finance department if you're seen unregistered to check on your status or to update your status.
Okay. Thank
Sir. Sir?
Go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. So what if it's a case where we're doing the exam and the electricity goes out while we're doing a MCQ, miss, online? If the electricity goes out, would we be able to log back on and continue from where we were, or would have to start over?
If the all right. If the electricity goes when you're doing an exam and it does not retire for that, does not return for that exam window, so say the window is 9 to 12 and you start at 9 and say about 9:15 the light goes and it doesn't come back until in the afternoon, say 1 o'clock, which is outside of your exam window, you will not be able to log back in and continue. If, however, the light goes, say at 9:15 and it comes back at 9:30, you may be able to log back in and continue. However, you need to note that the 40 hours, the 40 minutes will still apply. So in instances where such things occur, then we're gonna ask you to utilize our help desk to report the issue so that we may be able to address it when your light returns or provide you with the necessary guidance as to how to continue when your light is restored.
Okay, sir.
Good night. Should we be registered for semester 2 or semester 1 to sit the exam?
Semester 1. Semester 2 begins in February, on
Okay.
February 15th. So we're
Yes,
not.
I have a question here, sir. Okay.
February
Can
almost,
you
sir?
allow me to finish answering the question first? Right, so you will have to be registered for semester 1 because that's the period that you're doing examinations for. Semester 2, except if you are in the nursing department, has not begun as yet. So your registration should be for semester 1.
Sir, when does classes resume for semester 2?
February 15th.
Sir, in pertaining to the examination card or permit, do we have to have it on the day of the exam?
Sir, these exams, unless by specific arrangements, are actually online exams. And so, as we mentioned before, normally the only way that you can print an exam card is if you are registered. Now, I've said it before and I'll repeat it again. You need to finalize your registration at least 24 to 48 hours before your examination. And I shouldn't even put it at 24 hours. I should put it at 72 hours because your enrollment or you meeting, you're being registered for the exam will have to be communicated to the Triple CJ for the Triple CJ to enroll you for the specific exam. If you wait until the day of the exam to do so, then it's not very likely that you will be entered in time to do that exam. So the simple way of answering your question is yes, you should be in a position to print your exam card before the day of your exam.
Sir, good night. Just ask, where can I get the recordings for the APA sessions that kept last week? I was absent.
Those sessions are normally put on on the YouTube channel of the audit department. However, the audit department will also be scheduling other sessions for both day and evening in the next few days. So you can look out for that schedule as well if you missed that session.
Thank you, sir.
Mr.
I have a
Finna,
question
good
here.
evening. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Peter Gay here. I am a second year student from hospitality. Them, basically. I have two courses that I realized that has been clashing: Caribbean tourism and food, beverage, and labor costs. I noticed that they say that Caribbean tourism is 9 to 12, and I think there is a different time for labor costs, but it's the same day. Would that affect my multiple choice questions or no? I know part B you'd have time to download that part, do your essay or whatever question they ask you, case study, etc., and upload it within a time frame. But for the multiple choice, I just want to know that there is no clash. So because I don't have a problem doing it both of them on the same day. Because I work, you know. Hello?
Peter Gay, what time do you have the tests at, each of the tests? On the same day, you said?
They're the same day, the 27.
And what time are the tests?
What time are they set
I
for?
think they're saying 9 to 12. But I think I think the second draft was saying same time, but they change it. I think one is 9 to 12, and then I remember the other one time, but I think it's have a separate time, but same day.
Yes.
Also, it's a clash. Well, it wouldn't impact you doing the multiple choice because one will be done during the 9 to 12 period and the other during the 1 to 4.
1 to 4. Okay, I just want to clarify. Right, from before. Okay.
Good night. Just ask two questions. In terms of Moodle, there was an issue with it moving 5 hours ahead for the submission date. Just asking if that issue has been fixed. Also, for Canvas, where we would have for the take-home exam, where we would have at least 1 day after the due date for late submission, will that be transferred over to Moodle, or once the submission time has passed, it will be closed off?
I just want to get some clarification. You're asking, you have courses on both Canvas, ECC courses on Canvas, you're saying? That you...
No, in terms of the Moodle platform, I know for when we did Canvas exams last semester, when the whole COVID thing just started, we had a late day submission of 1 day. So we do the test and we have up to 1 day after to submit it late if any internet issues.
Okay.
So I'm asking if that would be that kind of thing would be transferred over to Moodle, whereas even though we have the submission date and time, just in case of any Wi-Fi issues, we have 1 late day period.
No, this is a final exam, so you would not be given that kind of leeway. So you would have to do it within the MCQs. You have 40 minutes to 40 minutes to complete it within the time frame that the exam is offered. And with the submission of the essay part, the section B, you have the 48 hours to complete it and upload it. You would not have an extension unless you communicated there was some extenuating circumstance, I believe.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of the submission issue, because as I said before, Moodle tends to move 5 hours ahead than the regular time in Jamaica. So that was an issue for us this semester with submitting our assignments. So has that issue been fixed?
So I believe that was with, what course was that?
It was with my entrepreneurship and new venture creation course, where anytime we tried to submit a document, it moved 5 hours ahead. The time was 5 hours ahead.
Usually it is the lecturer who would set the time period, and maybe it could have been that the lecturer may not have realized that the time was not set to the Jamaica time and probably was set to a different time period, and that's why you were having that issue. I am pretty sure, and Mr. Pinnock can clarify this, but I'm pretty sure on the system where you'll be taking the exam, that will have been sorted out, so you wouldn't have that issue.
And also it was sorted on the school site in November, except for those persons who chose to remain in the UTC time zone. And that information was communicated. So the time zone on the Moodle site was set to Jamaica time. There were, however, some of the courses where the time was set to UTC, which has a 5-hour time difference between our time. And so if the time was set using UTC, then you would have had that 5-hour lapse. So it wasn't a problem with Moodle the Moodle platform, was a problem with the settings set for individual assessments.
Okay, thank you. And that has been fixed, correct? Yes.
As I said, whenever the person, as Ms. Gudapati, Dr. Gudapati also mentioned, when the person who is setting up the assessment, if they set the time zone differently, then that will be carried through. We don't have control over that. So it's not a matter that something is wrong with the system. It depends on the settings that a particular user chooses to assign to an assessment.
Okay, thank you.
Good night. Can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
All right, good. Is it for SOBIS? Is it timetable completed? Because I'm not seeing some of the courses on the timetable.
How are you looking for the courses?
Well, it was sent to my email, so I'm seeing some ECC courses, and then I'm seeing one for SOBIS, which is where I fall under.
Which timetable are you looking at? Are you looking at the general CCC timetable?
Well, I am seeing 3 sets of timetables.
This is
color coded.
Are you a CCC student? You're doing a CCC course like the associate degree? Hello?
What program are you enrolled in?
I think we lost him.
Sorry, we lost that caller. Can you tell me when the second semester ends?
No, not at the moment. I don't have that information in front of me, but there is an academic calendar that you guys can.
Quick question. I'm on people have been talking about registration, and just out of curiosity, I checked my registration just to be safe. And I'm looking at my check registration section right now, and it's saying that no selected course, no course selected. And in and I'm pretty sure that I selected my courses and I registered already. So why is it? Who is that?
Are you listening?
Oh,
are you
hello.
hearing me clearer now?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
You can mute your mic because I think I hear myself back through yours. Okay. In terms of checking your registration, what section did you select to check your registration under?
All right. I went to Aaron registration. Then it says check registration status. That's what I.
Yes, and then it asks you to select the semester. So what semester did you select?
Semester 1 by default.
Yes, where?
It says term and semester 1. That's what.
Yes, that's
what.
one. There are other fields as well.
Yes, it says schedule, campus, main campus, and the year.
Yeah.
That's
so which?
Yeah.
What were your selections?
CXT maths and some core subjects. That's
right. So you selected year 2020, right?
Select year 2020.
Right. Your term would be semester 1.
Yeah.
Are you a day or evening student?
Well, there was some I think some clashes and certain courses were like full. So I ended up coming both day and evening.
Okay.
Using day and evening. So
undergrad day.
Okay.
And you select the main campus.
Okay. Yeah.
Course registration information.
Yes. Oh. No, I see it there. Yeah, I see them. I see them.
Please.
Huh?
Before you jump the gun, Kimani.
All right.
Check.
So when I talk of that,
that you're in the right.
Yes, sir. Thanks. I was kind of worried there for a second. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, good night. Hello. I heard Sir saying something about the register for Moodle, as in to print the paper. What is that about? Maybe I joined late, so I didn't get to hear.
Print what paper?
As in, sir, you said something about register, as in a pass or something for Moodle.
No, I didn't.
Oh, the exam card, sir.
The question was posed as to whether or not you needed the exam card for the exam. And I indicated to the person that we are operating in an online environment and not a face-to-face. And so one would not need to present the card. However, one would need to be registered. And so I drew the analogy that normally when you're going for your face-to-face exams, if you were here during that time, in order to go into a classroom and sit your exam, you would need to print your exam card. And in order to print an exam card, you would need to be registered for your classes. And so I indicated that the same would apply in order to be able to sit the exams, though you're not printing the physical card, you will still need to be registered for your classes.
Question,
Okay.
sir.
Allow her to finish first before, in case she has need for further.
Okay, sir. So now that you know that you're registered, you do need the exam card.
No, you don't need to print the physical card. You just need to
Okay.
ensure that you're registered.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Question, sir. Good night again. So I know you told me that you see my name in the list for the IC classes. However, I'm going through the area and I clicked on the semester one 2020 and stuff that you were saying to go on. Some of my courses came up green saying that yes, they're registered. However, for IT, communication, and social outreach, it came up red saying that I'm not registered.
Corey?
Yes, sir.
I think the situation with you, which I've already referred to student finance, is because you're doing courses on more than one location. Is that the case?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because I do it some at
So
main campus or some at Camp Road.
I noted that and I sent it off to student finance to indicate that they might have overlooked that, but I didn't need to hear that in the meeting. So I said, you're on my list, so you're good to go. Still remains true.
All right, sir. Thanks.
A question here, sir. For the registration, I checked the Aaron and I'm seeing that I'm registered for 4 courses and it should be 5. I'm seeing that I was registered for fundamentals of IT
So
lab,
question.
but not the theory.
You're registered for the lab and not the theory, but the lab wouldn't show up. Only the theory would show up on Arion.
Well, I'm seeing L group 1. I think L should be lab. Means lab.
No, it doesn't. You are registered for the course, and the course has one code. You can't register for them separately. If you only registered for the practical, it would not show up on your screen.
Okay, so that means that sounds to be
So
that
what's
I'm
the
registered.
course that you're saying is missing?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
You said that you're doing 5 courses, but you're only seeing 4. What's the 5th course that is missing?
Well, it should be fundamentals of IT theory.
No, it is fundamentals of IT, period. The course has 2 components, but there's only 1 course.
Okay. Okay, and the next question on the same registration, I'm seeing that I registered for group 1 for the introduction to programming, but I've always been in group 4. Can I make any can I make a change to that?
Student affairs, you'd have to refer that issue to. Who is the teacher cited for the group? Is it the wrong teacher?
Yes, it's the wrong teacher. Mr. Clooney was trying to do something, but I was not registered to him, which is group 4. I was registered with group 1.
Go again, repeat that.
Yes, I was registered with group. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you. Lorenzo?
Yes.
You can send an email to smsadmin@ecc.edu.jm. I will type it in the chat.
Yes, please.
Concerning that particular situation where you're in the wrong teacher's class, and we will address that. However, it won't affect your exam because you're not in those smaller groups where your exams, you're just assigned to the course for your
Yes.
exam. So that's
Yes.
not a worry. But
Yes, I understand that.
in
But
terms
it's
of,
actually affecting something else that Mr. Clooney was trying to do. He was trying to make some adjustments
and
for me.
I did show him how to make those adjustments.
So the teacher can do it?
You're talking in relation to the Moodle and your ability to submit a coursework, right?
No, it's not the coursework. He was trying to make some adjustments for me to previously, and that's where I realized I was in a different class. He was
Okay.
trying to make some adjustments for me to write, to do an assessment.
Yeah, man, it's for an assessment. That's what I was saying. So ignore the first one. The first email had a N instead of a M. Just send an email, indicate the grouping that you're in, and just state who should be your teacher for that particular course, and we will make the adjustment. Okay?
Okay. You said you sent an email?
No, I'm saying I gave you the email address. I just put it in the chat as well.
Okay.
Send an
Okay.
email from your college email address to that email account indicating that you're in the wrong class for software, and you should actually be in whatever group with the name of the lecturer for that group, and we'll make the adjustment.
Okay. Thank you.
Grant Walters, back to you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Pinnock. Thank you, ODEC team and lecturers who are here. Thank you, students, for attending the session. We have noted your concerns and we are going to continue to work to support you throughout this assessment period because we want you to be successful, and we will be doing our part to ensure that that happens. We will continue to have sensitization sessions leading up to the assessment period. Our helplines will be available for you to contact us. Please, if you have any other questions, if you have any other concerns, if there are things that you are not sure about, please feel free to contact us. We will make our recordings available to you so that you are able to view them after this session has passed. Please keep checking your emails because many times we communicate with you via your ECC mail. So if you're not checking your emails, you may just miss important communication. Please continue to check your emails. I wish you all the best in your examinations. And as I said before, we are going to support you to ensure that you are successful in your final assessment.
And just before you go, Ms. Grant Walters,
from CCC. Yes, sir.
Can you just state the email in case they want to contact exams?
Dr. Gudapati has posted the chat.
Yeah, that's also, remember, you have about 400 people on YouTube as well. We're not seeing that.
So the students, the email for exams is exams@ecc.edu.jm. That's exams@ecc.edu.jm. If you have any questions that you need to send to the assessment unit.
And you may also contact us via telephone. All right, thank you, Mrs. Williams, for joining us today. And we will continue to pass on any other concerns we have as we go along.
You're welcome.
Everyone, and good night.
Anyone hearing me? Walter?
Go ahead.
Yes.
About the Turnitin, you said that you were gonna address it.
Yes, we will be communicating with Turnitin, with you about Turnitin outside of this session. And we will also be sending support information to guide you as you go along.
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. This meeting will end in the next 5 seconds.